girls, good morning. Today I'm going to show you how to make a date bark. You may have seen this all over social media. It's the newest rage, but it's a delicious dessert or snack that you can make really quick. It's no bake, it's low in sugar, it's naturally sweetened with dates. And I love dates because they are so sugary. One date packs a big punch of sweetness, so you don't need a whole lot of dates when you're using them in baking or cooking. And they're also low on the glycemic index. The glycemic index is the scale on which you can rate how quickly something raises your blood sugar. So 1 would be like a glass of water, and 100 would be a tablespoon of sugar. So dates fall kind of on the low to moderate side of the glycemic index. So they're approved for diabetics even. So if you want a sweet, a date is a nice substitute because it also has fiber in it and lots of vitamins and minerals, which is great, unlike sugar, which has none of those. So that's one reason I really love dates, is that you get the fiber in them, which also slows down the rate at which the sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream. Because we know when sugar goes into our bloodstream, it causes blood sugar spikes, and we do that time and time again. What happens is we become insulin resistant, and we're on the road to type 2 diabetes, which is so prevalent in the US right now and around the world. So I want to show you how to make this date bark, because so many of you have told me that weight gain is a big issue for you during menopause, and also sugar cravings. So if you do have a craving for a sweet like I do, I love dessert, I love a little piece of chocolate. Really, after almost every meal, I crave something sweet. And instead of completely ignoring that, I do allow myself a little treat from time to time, whether it's fruit, a piece of dark chocolate, or now this date bark. So I want to show you how to make it. It's super easy. What I have here is a whole package of Medjool dates. I like these dates because they're nice and soft and they're plump, so they're easy to spread, which you're going to have to do. I have them on parchment paper here. I've opened them up and I've put them on parchment paper, arranged them next to each other. Then I had another piece of parchment paper that was on top, and I flattened them using this measuring cup. You can also use a rolling pin, and between the two sheets of parchment, they won't stick. So then what you want to do, once you have these nice dates here, they're all flattened out. What you want to do now is take some peanut butter. I always use the unsweetened natural peanut butter. No salt is okay too, if you don't want any salt. Sometimes I like salt, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna put the recipe on the post, so we don't worry about the amounts right now. And really, the amounts don't matter all that much in something like this. It's nothing technical that needs to rise in the oven or be perfectly fluffy or, you know, moist. We're not worried about any of that. So if you like peanut butter, put a little extra on. You can also use almond butter, sun butter, walnut butter, pecan butter. You know, there's so many different kinds of nut butters out there. And then what we're gonna do is just gonna spread this around. So one thing I love about having a dessert or a snack like this is that it doesn't raise our blood sugar as much as other sweets do. You know, certainly like candy or cookie, anything refined, because this is all natural. And because we're putting the peanut butter on it, the peanut butter has protein and fats in it, and so does the Struseli, which we're gonna layer on next. So Struseli is made with walnuts and pecans, chia seeds, flax, hemp hearts. So those are all lots of healthy fats, fiber, and protein, which when combined with the sweet dates, the sugar spike that you get from the date is mitigated a bit by the fact that your body also has to digest the healthy fats and proteins, which slows down the absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. So if you're gonna eat something sweet, I always say pair it with some good fats and proteins and fiber to help mitigate that entrance of the sugar into your blood. So we're gonna put that on. I just like to push it in just a little bit. And then I have some dark chocolate that is melted that we're just gonna pour on top. Gonna just put it on here nice and even. So why don't we want to have too much sugar during menopause? We especially don't want too much sugar during menopause because it does contribute to weight gain. Sugar has a lot of empty calories and it can cause us to gain weight unnecessarily. It can also trigger hot flashes for us. It messes with our insulin levels because, you know, oftentimes we're tired during menopause and we think eating something sweet is going to perk us up, which it does, but then what it does is that we crash from it a little bit later. So that's another reason we want to cut back on the sugar during menopause, is to mitigate those insulin spikes. Because ultimately sugar just ends up making us tired. And like I said, it triggers hot flashes, causes weight gain, it just messes with our hormones in general. So it's a really good idea to just try to cut back on the sugar. The refined sugar is super important to get rid of, and that also includes like the white breads, the white pastas, the white rices, because they're all very high on that glycemic index. So anyway, I wanted to show you this nice little treat today. I hope you want to try it. What we do now is after we get it all made with the chocolate on top, you pop it in the freezer for a couple hours and then you break it into little bits. So I'm going to pop it in the freezer for about 2 hours. Okay, so the date bark has been in the freezer for about 2 hours, so now it's ready to cut into bite-sized pieces and store. So what you want to do is you want to just take a nice knife, kind of get a nice big sharp knife, and you're going to start cutting through the bark. And when it comes right out of the freezer, it's pretty solid, so you're going to have to give it some force to get through. But don't worry about cutting it into perfect size pieces anyhow. As long as they're not too big, it's fine. You don't want them to be too big because you really don't want to eat too many dates. Really, a serving size should be 1 date or less of this. So let's just go ahead and chop it into pieces. And then what you're going to do is just store it in the airtight container. You can even just rip it. We're going to put it in an airtight container with a lid on, and you'll store it in the refrigerator or the freezer. You can keep it in there for a month or more, and just take a piece whenever you're ready for a little snack. I hope you enjoy it, and see you next time.